Alright, so welcome back to our investor series. Now, this episode we're going to talk about, is rentvesting suitable for you?
Wealth management and monthly installment at 1.88 per house to select the right property to buy. 1 km. It's 1 km. Yeah, let me check.
So what is rentvesting? Now, rentvesting is a term used very widely in the West because renting is a little bit more popular in the Western countries, whereby it's different from Singapore, because in Singapore home ownership is about close to 90%. So rentvesting is really a very new concept that has been happening for some people in Singapore in the recent years. So rentvesting is basically, to summarize for you, it is a term and an investment strategy for property whereby a family or a person, they actually buy properties just purely for investment purpose. With regards to their own stay property, they actually rent. So why do people go into rentvesting? Now, the core reason is because they want flexibility for their own stay property. So just to give you an example, a family, probably the husband and wife, they're both working, they want to invest into properties and they want a minimum of 2 properties under their family portfolio. So in order to do that, they also have a third set of needs. So apart from the property investment portion, they want to stay in places based on their needs at certain seasons of their life. So for example, their kids might be entering into primary school soon and they want to get a place within 1 kilometer from a school that they hope to enter into under the phase, whether 2B or 2C and stuff like that. But they might have certain limitations with their 1 kilometer range. For example, if the properties are too expensive there, or there aren't properties that really suit their needs. For example, certain facilities does not happen within that projects within that range, or they're just probably certain layouts that they don't really like and they don't want to invest in an own stay property just because of getting into the school. So they might then rent, and under their own investment property strategy, they might go and buy properties which they deem have more investment potential, rather than putting their dollars into something for own stay just because they want to buy a place near to the school itself. Alright, so this family might then rent a place there and then buy 2 properties purely for investment, and they keep it flexible. In the event, if let's say the kids grow up, they might then rent another place based on their needs at that point in time. To give you an illustration as well, this also happens for people who want a larger size, but they do not want the hefty high mortgage amount every single month. So for example, if this is a huge family, they want to stay in a place whereby there's at least 5 bedrooms, and that can probably only happen for landed properties where they have more choices. But to buy a landed property, say at $3 million, and let's say if they will take a 75% loan on $3 million, so the loan amount would then be 2.25 million over a 25-year spread at 2.3% interest rate. That would then bring an installment amount of close to about $9,900 per month. So probably this family will be thinking in a sense whereby, rather than paying a mortgage of $9,900 a month, why don't they go and rent a landed property? Because if you were to break down that component of your mortgage, $9,900 is broken out into 2 portions. Principal would then be about $5,500, bank interest will be about $4,400. So every month, the mortgage installment that you're paying actually is broken out into 2 portions. Interest for the bank, because you leverage and loan from them, and principal that you pump into the property itself, which will then be released when you sell the place in future. So rentvesting, so-called investors, they will think, rather than I pay this amount, why don't I just pay that interest portion, which is about $4,400, I use this amount to go and rent a place, or maybe I can top up a little bit to get a landed property for rental, which is at about $5,000 plus, to have at least like 5 bedrooms for my family. So I'll just pay using that interest amount to the landlord in order to stay in a big place. And then with their balance funds, they will then go and invest in maybe 2 properties, one under the husband's name, one under the wife's name, and they will sell and buy using that strategy and keep that investment strategy flexible based on the appreciation of the properties. But of course, some people might say that, hey, if they would have bought that landed property, maybe it will appreciate in the long term, and by renting, they are basically not enjoying any appreciation factor and stuff like that. But rentvesting is different, because it's not that you only rent and you do nothing. So you rent, on the other hand, you actually invest in properties as well. It's just that for your own stay property, you keep it flexible based on size, based on requirements, based on schools and things like that. Alright, so rentvesting is really suitable for people who do not mind staying in rented properties because they have different needs at different stage of their life. But in Singapore, of course, a lot of Asians, they love to stay in properties that we own. They don't like that kind of feeling whereby you always have to talk about moving, signing or renewing the rents with your landlord every 2 years and things like that. Of course, a lot of people have that feeling of insecurity. So if you really love to stay in places that you fully own so that you can renovate, you can design and things like that, then rentvesting might not be suitable for you. It is only suitable for people who do not mind having that shift every couple of years, or maybe staying in a rented property. And of course, the downside is that you cannot renovate the place to your own style and liking. You can probably make it nice by using your furnitures and your paintings and your artwork and stuff like that. I hope that this episode will shed some light into what is rentvesting, because we have a couple of clients asking us what is this term all about, and hope to see you in the next investor series. See you soon.